Yo, what's going on everybody? My name is Ryan, I'm a CPA, and today I'm going to be talking about how to pay your tax payments online, specifically to the IRS. I'm not going to show you how to do the states because obviously each state has their own system, but the general concept, the general ideas on how to do it are pretty similar with the IRS versus the states. So today I'm going to be covering how to pay your balance due if you owe taxes. I'll show you specifically how to pay estimated tax payments, for making quarterly estimated payments. And I'm going to give you some information on some really important stuff that you have to know when you're making these payments and what happens and what you should do if you accidentally make the wrong type of payment or if you make the wrong payment to the wrong account. So the primary system I'm going to be talking about today is the IRS Direct Pay system. And I'm going to do this one because it's the most simple. You use your bank account, there's no fees associated with it. It's a simple IRS system that's secure, and it's how you make generally how most people make their payments. You can't pay your taxes with the credit card using this system. There are some payment services that let you pay your taxes with a credit card. I'm not going to really go into those specifically because I don't really like paying taxes with a credit card, mainly because these services will charge you a 2% fee or almost 2% fee to pay your taxes with a credit card. Now, I know some of you might think, oh, but you might get credit card points, right? You get points if you pay your taxes, but most credit card companies will give you, let's say, 1 point per dollar that you spend. So let's say you're spending $10,000 on your tax bill, then you're gonna get 10,000 points. So in terms of fees, the IRS is gonna charge you $200 in fees for this. And in terms of points, typically most credit card companies, the points are worth about a penny each. So you're getting $100 worth of points for spending $200 extra in fees, and that doesn't seem worth it to me. But wait, what if you can redeem those points for travel and hotels and all that shit? And I know sometimes points are worth more that way, but it's not something that I'd like to do. And if your main goal, your main focus in finances is to gather points for airline travel, then it is my opinion that you probably should reprioritize your choices. So before I go into the step-by-step guide on how to pay your taxes, it would be awesome if you could smash the like button, and of course, if you're new here, please subscribe to my channel for more helpful content. I'm going to link in the description below where you should go, but basically this is the IRS Direct Pay website is what we're going to go through. And when you jump on, you click on Make a Payment, and here you're going to come up with this first screen where you're going to have 3 fields here. They're going to ask you for the reason for payments, they're going to ask you where to apply the payment to, and which tax period for the payments. Now the reasons for payments could be the balance due for your taxes owed. It could be for estimated taxes that you might owe, as you can see here, or it can be to pay a notice that you receive, like the CP 2000. It can pay for amended returns, civil penalties. There's all these reasons here. You can pay for your payment plan or installment agreements. You want to choose a correct reason. So let's say you just finished your 2021 tax return and you owe some money. You're going to want to select balance due. Okay. If you are in the middle of the 2022 year, like we are right now, or whatever current year you're in, and let's say you're self-employed and you want to make an estimated quarterly payment, you're going to choose estimated tax as your reason. And for the purposes of this video, we're going to choose estimated tax. All right, so once you choose estimated tax, the rest of the fields are going to auto-complete for you, because really there's not many other choices when you're selecting estimated taxes, because estimated taxes are only valid during the year that you are currently in. So it's going to apply to the 1040, and you're going to apply it to the tax year 2022. But wait, you might be thinking, what if I own a business? Shouldn't I be paying the taxes under my business? And if it's an S corp, it's that's not a 1040, that's an 1120S. Well, as you know, hopefully any income from your S corp flows to your personal return, and you pay taxes personally from there. Okay, so the actual business doesn't pay any taxes. The only entity that pays taxes is a C corporation, and you can't pay C corporation taxes through this system. Okay, so that's why it's automatically fills these fields for you. If you select a balance due, you finish your 2021 taxes and you owe taxes, Then you're going to want to choose, the 1040 form for the second field, and then for the tax period for payments, you want to choose the 2021 tax year. Now you can choose all the way back to the 2002 tax year in that field if you are paying a balance due, just so you know. This is the Verify Identity screen. This screen has two purposes. One, obviously, is to verify your identity. The second purpose is to basically tell the IRS who is paying. Okay, so you already selected the year and the tax form that you want to apply the payment to and the reason. Now you have to let them know that you, the taxpayer, are paying for these taxes and not somebody else. So I'm going to go through the screen kind of slowly because there's some important things to note here. So as I first said, this is first and foremost to verify your identity. So the tax year for verification here, you're going to want to select a tax year that you've already filed your return and that's already been processed. So let's say you haven't filed the 2021 year yet. Then you should select the 2020 year to verify your identity so the IRS can verify what you input on this screen against what they have on file for the 2020 tax year. Okay, so for this purpose, we're going to choose the 2021 tax year because let's say we already filed 2021 and we're just trying to make an estimated payment for the 2022 year. So the rest of the screen you have to complete as it was filed on your tax return for the 2021 year. So, the filing status, if you're married, filing jointly, married separately, head of household, whatever, you have to select the one that was filed on your 2021 year, as well as your name and address as well. So just keep that in mind. If you've moved since, make sure you use the address that was filed on your 21 return. Okay, the next really important thing to note here is for people who are filing married jointly. So when you're filing taxes jointly, you're going to notice on the 1040 there is a primary taxpayer. That's the taxpayer's name that goes on first, and then there's the spouse. That's the name that goes on second. It's really important if you're filing married jointly to always use the primary taxpayer's name, as long as you intend to stay married and you don't intend on getting divorced or anything in the near future. Because I don't know why, and with the states, this happens too, but if you use the spouse's information instead of the primary taxpayer, then the IRS will not be able to link up your payment as a spouse to the actual tax return if you're filing jointly. And I think this is really stupid, and I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you how this happens. So let's say you have a primary taxpayer that's a W-2 employee, they have their taxes taken care of through their employer, and you have a spouse that has their own business as a sole proprietor. Well, the spouse, obviously wants to make some estimated payments, and since they are the sole proprietor of their business, they want to make the payments under their social security number because, that logic is correct. That logic makes complete sense, and that is logic that I agree with. However, if they made the tax payments under their social as a spouse, and they go to file the tax return, then the IRS won't be able to locate those payments at first, which makes it really annoying and really stupid. Because if then for some reason the taxpayer and spouse get divorced, then the spouse would obviously want those prepayments that she made on her account. But to simplify things, if you're married filing jointly, always use the primary taxpayer's information on this screen for the verification of identity. Now that that's out of the way, if you're filing married separately or head of household or single, obviously is use your own identity. Don't worry about using primary taxpayer or spouse. That only applies to married filing jointly. All right, so after you fill all the information on the screen as it was filed on the 21 tax return or whichever year you use to verify, you're going to go on to the next screen, which is going to ask you for the payment amount and your bank account information. So just make sure you have your routing number and account number ready there. And then after that, it's going to ask you to verify your social security again. Again, use the same one that you completed on the previous screen to just make sure it matches up. And then after that, you can easily schedule the payments. So a lot of issues that we've been having every year is, you have, like in the scenario I just mentioned, you have the spouse who is a proprietor of their own business. They make estimated payments under their social, and then when they file the return, the IRS doesn't see those payments, so they send them a bill or a notice for those payments due. This usually gets people freaked out, like they didn't get my payment. Like it's a relatively simple fix, okay? So one thing that you can do if that happens is you can call the IRS, and if you can get through and talk to somebody, you just tell them to please look up the payments under the spouse's account and apply it to the tax return, and the IRS will do that fairly easily, and they will remove any like late payment penalties and stuff as long as the payments were made on time. They'll retroactively backdate the payments as of when you actually made them. Okay, so I say it's a simple solution because getting through to the IRS, to a person you can talk to, is actually not very easy anymore. So the other solution, I actually haven't tried this yet, but I bet it would work, is if you get a notice for any taxes due, you would just reply or respond with a letter, a typed out or handwritten letter, asking them to please look up the payments under the spouse's accounts, and include the social security number on there, and just tell them the payments should be made on that account, and please look there and apply it to the tax return. So those are two primary options for taking care of that issue. And I think it's just really important to note that if you are filing married jointly, again, please use the primary taxpayer's social on the verify identity screen. All right, that's all I got for today. Hopefully that was helpful. Again, if you're new here, please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you found the video helpful, please smash the like button, and I would really appreciate that. All right, that's all I got for today. Take care and stay safe.
Move for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect, so I told him I'm a flick up. Bill, I'm in the mood for a change up. I leave the city and return with my change up.